Here at Wyopreps.com, we're doing a review of state basketball for an Athlete of the Week feature. And it's brought to you by our great friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, and visiting with Kaycee Kosmicki of 1A state champion Southeast for girls basketball. And it's been a little bit. Has it sunk in finally that you young ladies were able to win the championship a few weeks back now?
Yeah, it did sink in. It was really cool to be in that moment, but now that we actually got to bring the gold home and like everyone at our school was so excited, it was just really cool.
Talk a little bit about that because it's one of those situations where certain things kind of have to go your way, and you were able to you yourself able to knock down some clutch free throws in the end. What was that like as a sophomore, kind of stepping up in crunch time, knocking down some big free throws?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, not being able to play much last year and like really stepping up and helping our team, I thought that was pretty big on me. And I don't know, just making those clutch shots to take home the gold.
Talk a little bit about what was the difference you think from regionals to state to the championship.
Um, at regionals, we were just kind of like we were playing as a team, but we all weren't like I don't know, it wasn't as much like not everyone was like pumped and like I don't know, it just felt different. But at state, like everyone came through and everyone was excited. Everyone was going as hard as they could, giving 110%.
Was there something that you learned about from the regional title game to the state that maybe you applied in the state championship game?
Um, Probably like being encouraging and being stepping up and being a leader. Making sure like if they did something wrong, get their head out of it, make sure they get back in the game. I don't know, just keep pushing everyone forward as a team.
Gotcha. So let's kind of go through the state tournament run. What do you think was kind of the difference for your squad just overall at state tournament to make that run to the title? Was there certain keys, even that Coach Shear and the rest of the staff were talking about?
Um, Kind of. We just had to play our style of basketball and really like come through as a team. It takes everyone, it's just not one person. And I think having everyone realize that like it's going to take everyone, that really helped us.
Obviously, not seeing a team like um, some of the West teams, because you don't play a ton of those. Is that kind of difficult when you match up against them at state?
Yeah, and yeah, I think it is just because we've never seen them like and like we usually play like bigger schools, I guess, kind of are like 2A teams that and we don't see any side of the west side ever. So like it's just different.
So, how much adjusting did you have to do kind of within the games, early on against those West teams?
Yeah, we just had to take it minute by minute and quarter by quarter and figure out what we needed to do as a team and like come together.
You mentioned playing the 2A teams throughout the year. Do you think that helps you young
Yes,
ladies as a squad?
I think it does. We played Tongue River and Thermopolis at the beginning of the year. Those were our first games. We played Lingle. Like those are some good teams that were in the state championship this year. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say that probably helps you learn a lot about yourself, I would imagine. What did this title mean to this group this year? Obviously because it's been kind of going back and forth recently between you and Upton here.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I know to our seniors it meant a lot to them just because how they lost last year and they wanted to get their revenge. Um, yeah, it was just I don't know, it was pretty cool like for them to have two state championships and we were kind of like the underdogs at the beginning of the season. No one really thought we would be anything, I guess. But it's
Okay.
cool that we ended up winning.
What for you? Take me through. What's your mindset? Because you hit six big free throws in the last 30 seconds to kind of clinch it. What's going through your mind each time that you step to the free throw line?
That's gonna go in.
Okay,
That is
nice. Well,
going
at least you
in.
got the confidence that way, I
Yeah.
guess, huh?
Yeah, if I see it going in, then I'm pretty sure it's gonna go in. Having like where we were like going back and forth the whole game and not winning by very, or we weren't ahead by very much, making sure I really knocked those down so we would have a little bit easier win, I guess.
Well, you get it done. Congratulations on the championship. What's it like to play for Coach Shear out there at
Oh,
Southeast.
it's pretty cool. She's really intense and stuff, but that pushes all of us as a whole group, and she really focuses on like what she needs to help you with so you can play better out there. I don't know, it's just pretty cool.
You're one of the young stars. What was it like? You mentioned it a little bit ago for the seniors, but whether it was you or Bailey Booth, or what was that feeling like once the final buzzer sounded for you?
I don't know, it was just like cool. It was almost like we were in shock. Like we just won a state championship and like I don't know, it was just like I know everyone was excited, so that's good.
All right. Well, congratulations again on the title. Thanks for representing Southeast on our Athlete of the Week feature. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We continue talking about our Athlete of the Week feature when it comes to state basketball here at Wyopreps.com, and it's brought to you by our great friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming. And representing the 2A state champion Tongue River Lady Eagles as Paxten Aksamit, junior guard for them. And Paxten, thanks for taking a few minutes. You've had a few weeks now. Has it sunk in being a state
Yeah.
champion?
Um, kind of, but not really. Sometimes, like a lot of us, not just me, we catch ourselves like rewatching like the part of where we won, and we'll just start like smiling and we'll be in the moment. And like a few days ago, I think on Monday night, we had our banquet. And like just getting to do that and like all be together again, we were all just like smiling and thinking about it and just like having a good time.
Well, that's cool. That's a great part of high school sports. Talk to me a little bit about what do you think the key was in this year's run to the championship?
I think there was a lot of teams that were very good. Like I think there was like anybody could have did it. I think 2A was very like there was a good group of teams that definitely were good. I think what came down with us definitely is just how much like we all loved each other. I mean, I bet a lot of people have heard that that we've said that. Just we all our team chemistry this year was so good that it was hard for us to really like get down on ourselves as a team because we meshed so well together
Mhm.
this year that it was just like hard for, I guess, I don't know how to say it without like sounding cocky because I don't want to sound like that. But I guess like it was hard when we were like as a team and we were just so much together, like it felt hard for teams to beat us, I guess.
Okay, all right. You ended up scoring in double figures in the first two, a little bit quiet because I know a little foul trouble in the championship. But how did take me through those games and step by step, what do you think, kind of separated you to get you first round win, semifinals, and then in the championship?
I think just taking it one game at a time.
Okay.
Like when we played Rocky Mountain first round, we focused on them. And of course, like we were looking forward, like if we win this game, like we're looking forward to tomorrow. So just making sure that we are taking it one game at a time. And that definitely helped us. Like once we did there, then we were thinking about the next game. And then of course on Saturday, then we were thinking about that game. And it was just like making sure that we weren't putting undue pressure on ourselves
Okay.
for any reason. And then like after we would win, like making sure like celebrate this win and then move on to the next thing.
And then you don't have any more to move on once you get to the championship game. Uh,
Definitely.
for you girls, were there certain trials and tribulations that maybe happened during the season that allowed you to kind of learn and build and grow that maybe carried you over the top as well?
Maybe when we had that loss to Sundance by one the week before regionals, of course, like that kind of stung, and we were all like, we were pretty sad. But then in some ways, like I remember going to the locker room and our coaches were talking to us and they're like, it's okay, like this stuff happens. And also it felt like some of us had been talking how like we had had a win streak
Yeah.
and kind of having that like win streak like taken away like sucked for us, but we were also like it takes off undue pressure that some of us might have been putting on each other or that we had all been feeling. And
Okay.
so definitely that.
All right. Cool. What's it like to play for Coach Cummins up there at Tongue
Oh,
River?
it's so fun. She's awesome and she's funny. And she definitely what's what we all love about her is that she helps us like we do things that we don't think we can do, I guess. Like we push, she always says handle hard better.
Okay.
And she learned that when they went to something Duke women's basketball says that their coach says, I think I'm right about that Duke says that the handle hard better part, and just like pushing ourselves, doing things that like are hard for us definitely helps us a lot. And
I
so
gotcha. Speaking of hard things, you made it hard on yourself individually. You fouled out in both the semifinals and the championship a little bit. That had to kind of be a little tough.
yeah, that definitely was tough. And it was sad. I was like, I want to be out there with my team, but then like for myself, I was like, you still like you're a part of this team. Like make sure like I would just sit there and I was still cheering for my team, of course, and just like giving them all the support that I could be, even though I couldn't be out there.
Well, hey, congratulations to you and the rest of the squad. Thanks for representing TRHS, and I appreciate you taking time for our State Basketball Athlete of the Week feature.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
We continue talking about our Athlete of the Week honors when it comes to state basketball a few weeks ago. And from the Class 3A girls realm, it goes to Lauren Olsen, the star junior for the Douglas Lady Cats, who won another state championship. Keep the streak rolling. And let's start there, Lauren. You kept the streak rolling. So how important is that to the girls in that program?
Yeah, it's very important. I think it's just a standard at Douglas, especially with girls basketball. We take pride in wearing that name across our chest, and we'll do anything to keep our dynasty, obviously, and keep winning and being successful.
Yeah, I think 6 straight is now the longest streak of any girls team in state history in terms of 6 straight titles. So that's something to be proud of. What was the difference in this year's run, do you think?
I think that we matured a lot as a team. A bunch of sophomores, definitely, we all grew up a lot, and being upperclassmen now, we all took different positions and being leaders for our team. And I also think that our coaches put us in the right position based on like where we stand with our team. And Coach Hellenbold especially, he just works with what he has, and he does the best with it. And I just think it's really cool that we have that.
Talk a little bit about each win. What do you think was the key? Let's start with the Lyman win in the first round to get you girls going in the right direction.
Yeah, we just followed the game plan, and then we came out with intensity and pushed from the start. We knew that we definitely just needed to start strong to end strong, and that's just how it happened.
Semifinals, did you decide just to take over the world or something? Or, I mean, I think you scored like 27 of the first 28. I think you had 28 of the 32 at halftime. You went for 45. Something was working well. Did you have the right pregame meal? I mean, what happened Friday in the semifinals?
I don't know. I was actually late to warm up, so I don't even know how that works.
So is that not an excuse? Cody, I'll be late. Don't worry. I'm good.
Every game. No, I think trust is a big thing. My teammates trusted me, my coaches trusted me, and they give me the ball when I'm hot, and they help me out a lot. I think it's I overshadow a lot of my teammates for sure because they do all the dirty work, and I get a lot of recognition for it for sure. But just our 5 starters especially, and we had a pretty good bench this year, and for them to all come in like knowing what was going on, and I just think it's really cool that we have that trust for sure, and just that teamwork that helps build on that. So yeah.
A big performance in the semis. I get you to the championship, and lo and behold, you're rematching against Buffalo, 2nd straight year. I know you've had some battles with the Bison. How would you describe that title game now that you've had a little time to kind of think about it?
Yeah, it was definitely a battle. They're a really solid team. They're a good team, and we knew what we had to do to beat them, but we also knew what we could do to lose them. So avoiding those things and working our butts off and following the game plan that Coach Hellenbold planned for us, that was really crucial. So we had some girls like face guarding other girls, and I just think that just especially with just how we've matured over the years, and just this year especially, we are able to just listen and execute. And that's what we did in the championship game, and a lot better than we have done in previous games in previous years.
Speaking of that, what's it like for you to play for Coach Hellenbold? It's a guy I know pretty well, and obviously you're actually around him a lot more than I am. But how do you describe what it is to play for Cody?
He's a team first. He's a you guys first. He wants the best for us, and I think that's so cool because he doesn't get paid enough to do this job for the pay, right? And so we just all know that he's here for us and he wants what's best for us. And I just think that's so cool. Not very many coaches, actually, probably Hellenbold is one of the very few in the state that are doing it solely for the benefit of us. And he wants to see us win. And if we lose or aren't as successful as we could have been, we know he'll still be just as proud of us. And so that's just really cool to have that consistency.
Mhm.
And yeah, it is really cool to have a coach like that.
Perfect. Well, Lauren, you put a bow on it. Thanks so much for representing Douglas. Great job at the state tournament a couple
Thank
weeks
you.
ago, and we'll probably catch up with you sooner than later. Thanks again.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We continue talking about here at Wyopreps.com our Athlete of the Week features when it comes to state basketball. We're looking back and talking with student athletes from the state championship teams. It's all brought to you by our great friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming. I'm visiting with junior Avery McMullen from Sheridan High School. The Bronx won the 4A girls championship, knocking down Campbell County in the title game. And Avery, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to visit with me here. First of all, has it sunk in yet that you won the state championship now, even though it's a few weeks later?
No, I don't think so. We all have classes together, and every time we see each other, we always just talk about how this is crazy. We get recognized in public now. A few of the seniors and juniors went out to dinner the other night, and a bunch of people came up to us like, "Oh, are you guys the champions?" We're like, "Yeah," and it's crazy. And I think our program is getting a lot of recognition right now, and it's pretty awesome to see. And I don't think it's sunk into anybody yet.
Yeah, a lot of different contributors throughout the lineup from freshman through senior class. And I know that sometimes certain players get overlooked, but I thought you had a key contribution in the title game, knocking down 5 threes. Like, I guess from my perspective, watching that game, Avery, it kind of helped keep Campbell County at bay. When you think back about your championship game performance with 17 points, including 5 threes, what kind of goes through your mind?
It's crazy. At the beginning of the season, I wasn't shooting very much. We have a lot of capable shooters like Allie and Adeline. They shoot a lot. Adeline even broke our record this year, 2 of our records. I think Campbell, their defense was really based on double teaming our freshman Mesa, who has been killing people down low. So I think once they realized that more people were shooting that game, I think it was harder for them to guard, and they wanted to face guard Adeline and they couldn't. And my team being good, capable shooters and players down low really helped me get open. And so I think it's crazy that I made 5 out of 6, but it's awesome to me. But
Well, you had the sharpshooting eye of that game. Take me through the state tournament, though. What do you think was the difference this year for your Sheridan girls squad to get to the top in 4A girls?
we definitely went in with a different mindset this year. The entire season, we've been telling ourselves like this year's different. We had more of a family this year, I feel like almost. We all cared about each other a lot. Going to the state tournament, we were like, there's no way that we're gonna be standing there listening to "We Are the Champion" song of the first team. Like, there's no way we're gonna lose this game. Rock Springs, we watched so much film on them, and we were like, we're not gonna overlook them. We had the first few halves of a couple of our games were not very good. But I think overall, like Ali Lagaki and I talked to her every game. We're like, we're not going to be the team walking out if you're sad. We're not. Like, there's no way. We don't see ourselves going back to the hotel upset. There was just no mindset that we were going to lose any of our games. And I think we had a big hill to overcome with Campbell County, knowing that it was our seniors' last game and we can't lose to Campbell 4 times this season because they're a big rival.
Yeah, and pretty much all of them were close games. I think the biggest margin actually was your win in the championship.
Yeah.
What else was a difference for this squad this year, do you think? Is there anything else you can kind of highlight?
I would say we trusted each other a lot more. If we all knew that if one person wasn't going to have a great game, somebody else would step up. Everybody played their roles really well. I was a defensive-minded player only at the beginning of the year, and then as our team started needing more offensive plays, me and Addie Pendergrass stood up a lot for our team. I think that a big difference was that nobody was selfish on our team either. I'm not saying last year's team was selfish, but this year we definitely had a connection with our teams. Like, if somebody's down low, you can trust them to go get it. Like, our posts were super athletic this year. We could throw it over anybody and they would go get the ball. It was always an emphasis in practice, like, just throw them the ball, they'll get it. And if they don't, then we'll recover and we'll play defense. And I think everybody trusted each other a lot this year.
How do you think you overcame? And you mentioned it, slow starts. A little bit in the Rock Springs game, though, you were up big at halftime, but especially that Cody semifinal. You're down, and then I think momentum changed, and you outscored them quite a bit from like the middle of the second quarter on. What kind of change do you think?
Second quarter, going into halftime, we walked in, we saw our coach start walking the locker room, and he was furious. We were like, oh gosh, this is gonna be bad halftime talk. When he started walking to the locker room, we all knew that, like, oh, we were not playing good. Our team wasn't trusting each other. We were so focused on, because Gatorade player Molly Hayes we were all really focused on we got to slow her down. We kind of ignored everybody else and we forgot that like they have a lot of playmakers on that team. They're a good team without her even. And I think at halftime we all talked about it. We were like, we just have to trust each other. That's what we've done all season. There's no reason that we should change anything. It's just another game. Like in the beginning of the year, we only lost to Cody by 2 points, and I think we all knew that we were gonna like pull through. But second half, I think is when it really hit us that hey, we got to get going now. And then halftime, it was just like we were all just encouraging each other, and it was nobody got down on each other. Or just kind of like we have to do this for each other. And so I think last year in the semifinal game, I think it was more like, oh, we don't want to lose this game. And this year was like, we want to win this game. We're not giving up right now, even if we're down by, I don't know how much it was, like 12 points. But we were not giving up in that game.
Gotcha. And then was there any sort of tweaks that Coach Sullivan or you girls made in, going into that championship facing the Camels for the fourth time?
Yeah. So after our regional game, we all kind of realized that this is their game plan now. They're going to double team our post. And our freshman had never seen that before, that jump from her 8th grade year to that. She had never seen two people coming on her. And so I think when Sullivan, the entire week leading up, we were prepping for Rock Springs a lot, but also we'd say, Campbell's going to double team you, so look out. And I think she learned how to make a lot of better reads that game.
Okay.
And she ended up getting tons of rebounds that game because she just helped like get us the ball. And so I think that leading into the Campbell game, it was like, you're going to have to make them shoot, and we're going to have to shoot a lot to overcome their like post dropping in on you. And so I think we focused a lot on having Mesa learn how to read the plays better. And she also shot from the 3-point line during the state like tournament run. And so that was great. And I think that our confidence also shifted. Like it's hard to beat a team 4 times. So we're going to win this game. And we just all had that mindset.
Well, you get out of there with a championship. I know I've asked Mesa this because I got a visit with her last month, but what's your thoughts and perspective on playing for Coach Sullivan up there at Sheridan High School?
I love playing with Sullivan. He's a great coach. I think that he really engraves in your head that like you have to want to be there. It's a very long season, and I think that the cultural shift that has like changed throughout the program is crazy. It's kind of like if you are going to be a leader, you're going to be on the team, and if you're not going to be a leader and you're not going to be encouraging, then you're not going to be there because it's a hard season as it is, and you have to be a team to be able to make it through it. And I think that he just really focuses on individual play too. He wants players to develop on their own, even if we don't win a game, which he wants to win games. But if we don't win a game, it's like individual development. It's not the end of the world. And I think he kind of keeps everybody's heads in the game, even though during the game, he kind of gets upset sometimes, but he definitely teaches us better ways to deal with it. And I think he has created way more positive environment than it has been in the past. And so I enjoy playing for him a lot. And I think he's a great coach. And I think he's a competitor mostly. I think that he wants to win and he plays to win. And I love coaches that play to win.
Well, thank you so much for representing Sheridan. Congrats on the big game and the title win over Campbell County. And thanks for representing our Athlete of the Week feature.
Thank you. Have a good night.